Selfcare MilSpouse Creative Community. You are in for it today for another MilSpouse Influencer crushing interview with Megan Casper. She is an Army wife of 7 years, mother of 2 little kids, rambunctious golden doodle, and is currently stationed at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. That is a long name. She recently jumped into the creative world after 10 years of a full-time working, ranging from jobs with international hospitality brands, work in education in China, and inner city DC. Most recently, traveling and advanced work for former political and media figures. Girl, your bio is amazing. Several years ago, she had the opportunity to do marketing for a small women-owned business in DC, which is where her initial love for entrepreneurship was born. Megan has a bachelor's in psychology from the University of Florida and is currently completing her certification in wellness and life coaching through Auburn University. She was honored to have been published in the inaugural issue of the recently launched Legacy magazine. I'm still waiting for my copy. And celebrating military spouses in that magazine. Her new book, Got Your Six, will be available or is available now since Thanksgiving. Well, Megan, congratulations and thank you for joining us. I'm really excited that you're able to hop in here and tell us a little bit about what you're doing. You have a lot going on.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Awesome. Well, I want to jump into, so your resume is amazing, but falling in love being an entrepreneur after so many years working like for other people and doing all these things, like how was that transition for you?
It's definitely been a learning curve. I feel like I learn something new every day. And I continued my full-time job just until this past August. So I was running the Six Box. My husband was deployed last year, and we launched right before he deployed. So that was kind of insanity, but also a really great thing. So he was gone, and at night I would do a lot of Six Box work.
Right.
Yeah, so crazy, but good. And my business partner is an entrepreneur. So she owns her own marketing company, and she's worked for lots of different people, but a few years ago, she started out on her own. So I kind of had a little bit of a lead on that because I had her beside me. So it wasn't like learning everything all by myself, but a lot of things by myself. So yeah, we've learned a lot, but it's been really fun. And I think it's been maybe what I thought it would be. Like there's the pain and the joy of small business ownership, right? Like,
yeah,
oh my goodness, I'm never going to figure this out. And then all of a sudden you have a breakthrough in Adobe or something awesome happens and you just, you did it. And I think that's the really cool part about owning your own business is that control.
And having those small wins, like when I first started my blog, like anytime I would get something right on WordPress, I would like have like a celebration and my husband would be like, that's fantastic. And I know he was happy for me, but he was like, struggle.
Yeah, and he like they don't know you just spent maybe 2 days trying to figure out this one little tweak and you're YouTubing everything and then boom, you get it. So I think that's really the cool part.
Tell us a little bit about the Six Box.
I don't know. So the Six Box is a care package in reverse. That's what we call it. So it goes back to military spouses who are holding down the fort. Maybe they're going through a rough time or they just need a little bit of love. And it doesn't have to be for deployment purposes. It could be for a PCS or just to show a military spouse that you care. And so we have a different theme every month and we always have 6 items in it. And so there'll always be 2 spa products, 2 snack items, a custom print that we design. We pull the quote and design it in Adobe and get it all set up. And then we always do a home or accessory like a candle or a tea towel or a different element so that they really get 6 items that we hope allows them to pursue self-care or to feel beautiful or to just take a few moments for themselves and step back from all the craziness that military spouses do.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, I just put it together, 6 box, so you have 6 items. So awesome. And why did you come up with that concept?
How did we come up with it?
Yeah, like.
So my friend and I we're neighbors, we're friends, we're Army wives, and we both have a heart for entrepreneurship. As I mentioned, she already had a couple businesses that she's done. And we were having coffee. It was last February of 2016. It was February or March. And we were just thinking, like, what can we do? Like, we see so many of our friends struggle. And, my family's all in Florida. So I'm 3,000 miles away from family and friends. And they can't just jump on a plane all the time and come for a quick weekend or spend the money to do that. And so we just started thinking more and more about what's an easy, tangible way that people can, wrap their minds around. They can just click a button and send a gift. And people are so busy oftentimes sending care packages to deployed spouses, which they totally should. You should not stop doing that. But this would just be another way to then show the military spouse that you care as well. So, and that's where we came up with the idea.
I love it. And how long have you guys been in business now? So like 2 years?
Almost 2 years. So we started talking last spring, and then we sent our first box in July.
Wow. And so you started this like right when your husband deployed. It's like the perfect time to start any project.
Right. And he deployed in May. And then 4 weeks after he deployed, we found out we were pregnant unexpectedly with our son. So that's exciting, but that was just a lot. So toddler, pregnant, deployment, small business, still working,
Wow. And then were you moving in between there, or you're still in the same place?
We're still in the same spot. So
Okay,
we've been here about 3 years. So we're coming to the end, I'm sure.
We'll all be PCSing at the same time.
Everyone's going to move. Right.
Yeah, it never on a rotation.
Yeah. It just never ends. So that's also the beauty of the 6-box. It was our hope that we can do it from anywhere. It doesn't, it's not restricted by the location.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love that idea. I love doing boxes for my spouse, but I love the idea of celebrating the spouse, the one who's holding down the home front and, kind of keeping everything together to receive something from family and friends. Because sometimes it's like just getting a card or something while a spouse is away is a reminder to like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a little appreciation. So I love the intention behind that.
Thanks. Yeah, and we have a lot of husbands who send gifts too, and that's one of our other intentions, was that the husband could easily show his wife love with a care package. So we get to write all these really sweet notes from husbands. So sometimes they're silly, sometimes they're just really sweet, but that's a fun part too.
So you handwrite these?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we handwrite all this.
Oh gosh, that is so cool. That's really, really sweet.
Yeah, we felt like that was the more personalized part that people can do. So they sometimes. In November, it was at least 2 hours because we did a special order. And the lady that did the special order for her entire unit did like long messages for all of the spouses. So I'm like 2 hours at my kitchen table. It was a lot of fun.
Like, well, this is what we're doing today. Hand cramp, like make it work.
Yeah, but obviously it's so worth it. So that's the fun part, is getting to see them.
So how do you make it all work? Like since your spouse is back now and you have the 6-box and you have like your whole thing being an entrepreneur, mom life, home life, spouse life, and his schedule, how do you guys make it all work?
So I have an awesome husband. So I have to say that right off the bat, because you have to be supported. And even though he's not an entrepreneur and sometimes he doesn't understand, like, he does not love the pain of it. He only wants the joy, like, how successful are we right now? But he's awesome. So one of the things that really changed for me after quitting my full-time job was having childcare. And so that's kind of been the struggle. So when can I get the kids on post? When is my husband going to be home? Can he take them for a couple hours? Because, they're 2.5 and 9 months. It's not like they need me. They come find me. They like crawl on the ground, where is mom at? So that's one of the challenges, but I have to either get up earlier or stay up later and just really find those pockets of time and keep my priorities straight. So every Sunday I look at my schedule and I look at all of the tasks that have to get done and realize, okay, if I get 90 minutes here or 2 hours here or 3 hours here, like, what really has to happen, in those times. And there's lots of times that I don't get to everything, or I don't get to it perfectly. But I try to embrace that done is better than perfect. And I'm thankful for a business partner as well, because we can say like, hey, I didn't get to finish this. Can you grab it for me? Or you have someone going through the struggle with you and celebrating with you as well. So it's an open communication and really keeping those priorities straight so that when you sit down and you have that time, what is it that you have to knock out?
Mm-hmm. So what tool do you like to use the most? Like
So
to help you be productive?
So I have a hard time because I'm a pen and paper person. So I have like lists all over my house, and my husband's always like, what is this list? Like, why does this list say dark? Can you just put it all in one spot? So I have lots of lists, but we are huge fans of Asana and Google Drive. So I've really learned to put all my tasks into Asana, and then Google Drive is so awesome because it automatically saves for you. So I'll build my content calendar and the Excel part of Google Drive. I'll write all the blog posts in Google Drive, and then I can always pick it up on my phone because I have the app and keep going if we're in the car, I have time to do that. So I use Asana and I use Unum for planning the Instagram.
What is it called?
Unum, UNUM. It's free. So it's like a Planoly. Planoly and Unum. Those are both free ways to kind of look at your grid and plan your Instagram posts, and you can upload photos.
Yeah, so I have Planoly, but I have too many Instagram accounts, so mine's not free.
Yeah, we are free. So I try to use whatever free resources that I can. And Instagram, I'm like, okay, I want the feed to be nice, but I also want it to be personable. Social media is like, it's a whole nother monster.
Girl, it's a whole beast monster baby. Like, because my husband got the Google Home the other day. Well, we have one down here. We got the mini for upstairs. And he came home, he's all excited. He's like, babe, it will post on social media for you, like Instagram and Twitter. I was like, wait a minute, it's gonna post on Instagram because if this is a new revolution, I need to know about it because the whole world is waiting for Instagram to allow to like automatically post.
Yes, instead of having to go in and
But I think the intention behind it, market strategically, it's a smart move because it forces you as the user to come in and kind of look and see what other people are doing and engage. So I think that's what they're trying to do instead of scheduling stuff. So pretty smart on that. But no, Google ended up just not being able to post on Instagram like that.
Okay.
But when I know, I mean, we're going to have a party at some point. Yeah. So we're all waiting for that Instagram. If you ever watch this, we're waiting. Cool. So it sounds like you have a lot of good tools. How do you keep up with your hubby's schedule? I mean, I know like they have events and luncheons and working late and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I try to ask him, like, what do you have going on this week? Like, what's coming up? Instead of by the way, I have to do this tomorrow. Or I have to stay late tonight, or I have to be in early tomorrow. And, again, that communication, and we just do what we can. I think that I have friends in the neighborhood who can watch my kids. So if I need to run on posts really quick, I can potentially drop them off, or we just bring them with us.
Right.
I'm a fan of like the whiteboard calendar. I've got that up on our wall, and I'll try to ask him, like, do you have something coming up? What are the appointments? What are your meetings this week? And just that advanced planning so that we're not scrambling all the time. And then we can also build in the time for a date. Not happen very often. But even if it's just happy hour, like let's run down the street to get a drink really quick. Communication, the whiteboard. I'm a fan of Lara Casey's Power Sheet. I don't know if
oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so like trying to think of the month, like what do I really want to get done this month? And also, some priorities are good priorities. They make you better, they benefit your family, and some priorities are they're just tasks. And so trying to figure out, what is actually really important right now. Is it important to engage on social media? 100%. But is my 2-year-old holding my leg and wanting me to go outside? And trying to figure out the balance there.
The balance is hard. And I know for me, I struggled a lot with like mom guilt when I first started my business, because I was, I stayed at home. That was just my jam. That's what I did. I did the carpooling and the school stuff and the, cooking dinner 4 times a week. And then it just like stopped because I was tired, like it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Mentally draining.
Yeah, and it's all you, so that's like the luxury of working for someone else, is like they worry about taxes, they worry about insurance, they worry about all that stuff. When it's you,
you're thinking about it all the time. Yeah, it's like you never clock out. So creating those boundaries are so invaluable. And I learned that last year, or even earlier this year, I got really good at it. It was like I cut off at 5 o'clock. you know, like 5 o'clock is like family time. My kids are home. I need to do dinner. I need to engage with my spouse. I need to decompress in some way. What do you guys do for self-care? I know you mentioned, you said you go on date nights and things like that. What do you do for like self-care? Because that always comes at the end.
Yeah, it does come at the end. And so I've tried to find easier ways to have self-care instead of, oh, I should really book myself a massage. Well, then that right now for me, that requires a babysitter and I have to drive somewhere. And, you know, then I've got 2.5 hours that I've spent driving somewhere, getting the massage, and now you're on your way home and now you're stressed because your family's waiting for you or they're hungry. So I keep a bottle of lavender bath salts in the bathtub. I can take a 10 or 15-minute bath before I go to bed, and that's totally undisturbed. I have a little bit of wine after the kids go to bed.
The wine.
Yeah, so at like, you know, 8:30, I'll try to sit down with my husband on the couch. We'll have a little wine, we'll watch a funny show and just have us time. It doesn't happen every night, but we strive for it a couple nights a week if we can. I'm a coffee cookie at 3 p.m. person. So it's like every day at 2 or 3 o'clock, I get this hankering for like a little something sweet. So sometimes that's all you need is a handful of those Nestle Toll House chocolate chips and like a little bit of coffee. So just trying to find small wins. If it's a really sunny day, because we live in Washington State, so October to like May, it rains a lot. The sun comes out, we sit out on the porch and put the chalk out. And, you know, it doesn't have to be hours. It can be 15 minutes. It can be 20 minutes. And I like to read. So if I can just kind of keep a book on my phone on Kindle, I'll just kind of, you know, hey, I got 15 minutes. I'll read a little bit. So small wins. That's what I'm.
So you don't schedule it in necessarily. It's kind of like you said, you find pockets. So you find the pockets to, you know, work on productivity, and then you find those pockets to have a little bit of self-care and time with your spouse. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there'll be days where I say to my husband, like, I have to get out. Like, I have to go be alone or just like, be quiet. And he'll say, okay, you know, he can tell that's like the edge. Like, I should let my wife go for a little bit.
Before she lets go. Like, I know for me too, like it's sometimes it's just finding that balance and then finding the time. But like you said, like really simple bath with wine and some like favorite music, or just even just the quiet, and close and lock the door is very like, it's so golden when you're working all day on your business and, you know, trying to be a good mom and a good spouse and a good friend. I mean, I don't know when's the last time I really saw my friends. I mean, how are you doing in that department? It's so hard.
It's hard. It's a struggle. And it's a struggle because a lot of us are in the same boat, or they've got, you know, kids at home, or their husbands are in and out. Like even my business partner, just because my husband's home, her husband's gone right now, and she's home and she's got a 6-week-old and a 2.5-year-old. And so then it's like, hey, did you need to come over for dinner? What do you need? And, you know, trying to stay connected to your community and just send Facebook Messenger has saved me in a lot of ways. I can easily just pop on and say to a friend, hey, how's it going? I try to touch base and schedule calls and Skype calls, or just pick up the phone and call my friends, because so many of them are on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. So that poses a different challenge. And then for my friends here, if we can just meet up at Starbucks or go for a walk or just pick a play date, you know, those are the times we try to take advantage of. Okay, hey, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? Technology is so awesome because, you know, you can be on Facebook Messenger, but then you could be on Facebook Messenger for way too long and you're like, oh man, I should really stop.
It sucks you in. I feel like it's a black hole. If I'm working, I have to close out Facebook. Yeah. And sometimes there will be information that I need that's on Facebook. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm opening it up. I'm going to get this one email or a phone number and put it and like close it. And 15 minutes later, I'm on there. I'm like, get off. It's like, well, suck you in.
It totally sucks you in. You're like, oh, well, what are they doing? Or what is that group selling over there? Or maybe I need to get those shoes. Like,
Or so-and-so did this. Let me congratulate them, or like share their event, or happy birthday, happy anniversary. Like everything.
And then before you know it, you're like, oh, what was I doing again? So.
Girl, every day that happens to me.
And you have so many, don't you run like 12 social media accounts or something?
Girl, so yes, I do. It's so good.
I don't know how you do that.
I have a really great team. I was able to actually bring people on board this last 3 months. And so I actually only post onto Instagram. Everything else is done by my team, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's been those are it's growth. Like it's small, it's little wins, but yeah, so and that's one of the things I was going to ask you. What do you find to be a challenge in running your business other than like the time? As especially being an entrepreneur, is the challenges come in so many different forms and in waves. Starting this 6 box, what has been one of the biggest challenges for you?
So initially it was just, oh my goodness, how do you have a business? Like, what do you need to get started? How do you form? What are the taxes? What, should we be an LLC? Should we be an S? Like, what are all the different things? So figuring that stuff out. And I think a lot of it are two things that I will get in like a groove with, and then all of a sudden it'll feel like it'll start to spiral or it'll change. And one of those is social media. I do it all of the social media. And so there'll be times where I feel like I'm burnt out with social media. Like, I need a break. And then I'll realize Facebook will send you a message, like, hey, you haven't posted in a few days. And you think, oh, people think I fell off the grid or something. What do I post now? So just getting better with those content calendars and pre-scheduling things in Buffer. I was using Hootsuite, but I just discovered Buffer and I really love it.
It's really, I think the interface, and it's really user-friendly, clean and sleek, and Hootsuite is like, to me, it was all over the place.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying it more. So when I find a new tool, I can get back in there. But I think systems are really important, and figuring out what kind of systems you need. Do you work better in Excel? Do you like Asana? Do you like Trello? And then sitting down at the beginning of the month and just really scheduling things out, or 6 months in advance. So we try to plan themes and things 6 months in advance and not just in the immediate, so that you're not making this like, I have to make this decision right now, and really plan things in advance. So I'm a fan of systems. I think they're really important, whatever works for you. But it's easy once you get those systems in place, to find a really great content calendar planning tool or whatever, that you're actively going in and you're updating them. But if you have the foundation, then it's a lot easier to keep things from going off the tracks.
Yeah, because once it spirals out of control, it's like really hard to get it back on track, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Figuring out the systems was a struggle at first, but I feel like we've come along.
Well, you can't tell. I think your social media looks fantastic.
Thank you.
What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you, the other question I was going to lead into was, if somebody wanted to start a business like the 6 box, what are the 3 tips that you'd give them? If they wanted to start any kind of subscription box or something in that lane, what are 3 tips you'd give them in starting so?
Yeah. So one tip I would give is, I totally believe in taking risks. I think the greater the risk, the greater the reward in so many things. But I think the risk has to be wise. So I don't think you just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to spend all of our savings and start this business and just see what happens. I think, taking time to really figure out what you're passionate about as well. Because, we don't always make money with the 6 box. That's not what it really was, about. Like, that's the hope and that's your goal every month with the business. But sometimes when you start out, it's just about because you care about it. It's just the passion,
Right.
So to know that what you're doing is something that you find meaningful, and that it's more of a calculated risk, and that maybe you sleep on it for a few nights or a couple months and you kind of try to take a plan. So take the risk, but make sure it's wise and it's not throwing your family like totally into jeopardy.
Right.
Yeah. If you can, don't go it alone. So either go into business with someone, or that's not always smart, as we all have heard terrible stories about people going into business with someone and it doesn't work out. But find groups, and like the Millspouse Creative, you don't have to be alone. Don't be an island. That would be a really dangerous spot to be in. So whether it's a local group that meets up, or maybe your mom is really good at business, you're not alone. Maybe you're alone with actually running the business, but you have some sort of support network, that you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to start a business, and never talk to anyone else about it.
Right. Well, yeah, because you wouldn't get all these great ideas.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You would be able to just post and say, hey, I need this, and then someone helps.
Right.
And the third thing that I think I've learned a lot is to give yourself a lot of grace, because there are going to be days that are great and you're flying on top of the mountain, and there are days when you cannot figure out WordPress and the whole world just seems to stop, right? That's like, I can't do this, I'm a failure, whatever it is. Like, give yourself grace. know that you're learning every day, and give yourself grace to change. So we've always said that about the 6 box. Like, it's definitely a monthly subscription. It's totally, this is what it set out to be. But if it were to evolve, or we start adding in, we've done a comfort box and a birthday box, and we're always open to more ideas. And I think that's a good part about your business, that you're open to evolving or making tweaks along the way.
I love it. So any special holiday stuff you guys do at home? You have any special holiday traditions?
Yes. So we always make Christmas cookies. They're my grandma's recipe. We always make them, we decorate them, we do the whole thing. And I love looking at lights, and my kids love the lights. So at least my 2-year-old does. So if we're out, and the sun's gone down and people have their Christmas lights out, she just starts shout, "I see lights." So growing up, my whole family would do that. We would do one night in December. We would get in the car with a hot chocolate and the Christmas music playing and just drive around and look at lights. So
we do the same thing. That's really cool. I love the lights. I love everything about Christmas and New Year's. Makes me just happy. Makes me feel fresh and new all over again.
Yeah.
So I love it. Tell us a little bit about, do you have any specials or anything coming up the holiday with the 6 box? Anything you have coming out?
So we just came out with the winter box. So we are testing a seasonal model. So it is a higher than normal retail value box that we usually do. So it's worth at least $70 in retail value, but we're selling it for the same price that we usually do. And you can always save 10% with the code GOTYOUR6, SIX. You can always save 10% on any purchase. So we have this seasonal box, which we're really excited about. And we worked with some really cool brands. Seco Designs was one of them, and they help women in Uganda who are trying to pursue higher education. We worked with GOTYOUR6 Coffee, and they work to prevent veteran suicide, and just to go down on the suicide rates, and with LEOs. And so we worked with some really fun brands this time, and we're excited about the seasonal box. And next year, we're not sure if we're going to continue to add on unique boxes. So this year we did the monthly box, but we also offer the comfort box and the birthday box. And the comfort box, people seem to really enjoy.
What was in the comfort box?
So the comfort box was a little bit more, but it included more items. And it's not necessarily for a spouse who has experienced loss, but it could be for that purpose. So just a little bit of a deeper box, a box for you to really take more serious self-care. So some chocolate, a necklace, bigger spa items. And then we always have the custom note in there so people can say whatever they want. And the comfort box seemed to do well. So we're exploring the idea of having some standalone boxes that are always available.
Oh, very cool. I love that idea. That's fantastic. I'm excited for you guys. You guys have a lot going on, and it seems like this year was really good, and you've had some great collaborations. Yeah. I'm going to get into my fun round where I get to ask you some kind of silly questions and kind of get to know a little bit about like your regular side, not the side that we see as a business owner spouse. So what is one of your favorite reality TV shows?
Oh gosh. I know. This is the hard part. So we don't have
many. You have so many.
Well, we gave up cable, so we only have. Yeah, it's a trick question, right? So we only have Netflix and Amazon. So whatever's on Netflix and Amazon are our current shows. But I did get into The Bachelor for a while.
This is so funny.
Yeah, it's. A lot of ways I have a lot of like, okay, this is not right. Like, people should not be all competing. But, this is not a good model for my daughter probably to, grow up. But I don't know if I want her to do that. But at the same time, you just, you get into it. And you get into
the train and you're like, when is it going to crash?
Yes. Yeah. Like, what is going to happen? Like, how are these people doing this on TV? I just couldn't do it. So
I was like, what? Did that just happen? Like, rewind some stuff sometimes. I'm like, wow, did she just say that? Did they just do that? Crazy.
Like, is this real? Yeah.
Yeah. You can't believe that some of these people actually do this stuff. Awesome. What is your biggest pet peeves?
Wow. I get so annoyed with technology, and I know that's bad because I have to use it. Right, but because I can't see it, so when all of a sudden some glitch starts happening or like something won't load, and you start to think, I can't see what's happening right now. Like I can't fix this. I have to walk away from my phone. Like it should work at all times. Like the iPhone is expensive. It should work at all times. I
All the
feel like
time.
it should never be a glitch, and that just shows my dependence on it, I guess. But my husband will even say like, you and technology, it's not good.
It's like a love-hate relationship. That's what I call my dentist. I'm like, we have a love-hate relationship because I hate going there, but I need you to do what you need to do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So technology, it's totally a first world problem, but it gets me. I just feel like it should let's keep
You
moving.
think it like messes with you sometimes, just to mess with you, like, oh, I'm a poke at Megan today.
Yeah, I'm gonna test her patience. I'm just gonna see if she's a good person or not with the technology.
Let's try her. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I would want to be able to teleport because, first of all, as a military spouse, I would love to see my family more. But I've always wanted to visit every country in the world, and I am very far away from that. But I just think it would be really awesome to see every country in the world. So I'd love to be able to teleport and then also get away from situations that, aren't so good either.
I don't want to be here right now. Or you can like teleport to the bathroom and be like, girl, don't do that.
Yeah, you're on television. Like,
I saw in the other scene, this happened.
Yeah. Or to help someone out. So, to be able to get the family and friends right away. Like, hey, I'm here. I'm part of this, this hard time or this party or whatever it is. So I think teleporting would be awesome. If that's a
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, tell us where we can find you, anything you have coming up, and how we can connect with you guys.
So we are www.the6box.com. On Facebook, we're 6box LLC. And on Instagram, we're also at the 6box, and same with Twitter. So I'm trying to up my Twitter game. But you can find us, the 6box. And we love to connect with people. We love to hear from people. We love to know what people think. And if you have collaboration ideas, we're always looking for more military spouse and veteran-owned businesses. We also work with civilian brands just to help bridge the gap between civilian and military families. But we love to engage. We love to hear from people. And you can also email us, hello@the6box.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Megan. It was an honor to just chat with you, get to know a little bit about how you do life as an entrepreneur, a military spouse, and to learn about the 6box, which is pretty cool.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And MilSpouse Creative Community, thank you so much for tuning in to another MilSpouse influencer interview with Megan. We're so excited that you're able to tune in with us. Let us know what you think of the interview. Reach out to Megan for any kind of collaborations or partnerships, or, if you need to order a box, go and order a box. Send somebody a box that their spouse is gone. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and tune in next week for another interview. Bye.